humble beginnings to raising the future, achieving success along the way. We'll never back down, because we are here to race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Watkins Glen for the Lightning eSports Arca Series. At a road course tonight, just finishing with the grid. Let's go ahead and start down our starting lineup. On row number 1, we have Bud Shear and Johnny Sanas. Row number 2 will be Robert Kahn and Truth Hope. Row number 3 will take us to Christian Shriver and Barry Nelson. Going on to row number 4, we will have Michael Chanel and Drew Smith. Then heading into row number 5, Jesse Fox will be joined by Chris Ellis. Row number 6 will be Jason Henry and Mike Rideout. Row number 7 will be Sebastian Chanel and Oren Russell. Then going down to row number 8, we will have Rusty Jordan and Hayden Cookhausen. And row number 9, we'll have Sean Bark and Michael Ware. Then row number 10, we'll have Chantal Patel and Kevin Baker. And then rounding out the field in row number 11, we'll have Jeffrey Ledford and Brandon Cookhausen. That'll be a field of 22 drivers. Bud Shear on the pole. Take a look at our weather display real quick. 75 degrees out. Not very windy, 2 miles an hour to the north. A little bit of cloud cover, but not a lot, and a little bit of a hotter track temp than drivers probably expect. But that'll probably put on a really good show for us tonight. We're just moments away from getting the green flag. 30 laps around this racetrack tonight. Who will come out on top? Which driver will be able to display their road course racing skills tonight? You are about to find out, as the pace car is going to take the hard left, or this way, hard right turn. Green flag in the air. We're racing from Watkins Glen. Hard into turn 1, drivers on the brakes aggressively already. A little further back, going a little wide out. Fanning out, just trying to make it through the first couple of turns. Going through their uphill here. Working their way around to complete lap 1. Most of the field has kind of figured out their positioning. Some drivers still trying to settle in. That's Jason Henry getting a little bit of pressure behind him, and that's Christian Schreiber, who's around the 14 car. Dangerous spot to be stopped in, but he's going to get it going. Meanwhile, Jason Henry had a little bit of pressure there. He's going to keep going. One-second lead for a race leader, Bud Shear, as Robert Kahn is going to get pressure from Johnny Sanchez here for second place. Johnny not quite close enough that time to make it stick, so he's going to have to fall in line and try and get it another run worked up. Johnny Sanchez. Heard him have to lift off the throttle heavy there. Might have gotten a little bit of dirty air. Trying to set it up going into the bus stop. Again, just not close enough to make it work, but he's going to try and get through these next couple of turns, and he seems to be a little bit quicker than that second place driver of Robert Kahn, but Robert Kahn also doing a really good job for the time being of holding on to this second position. A little bit of a bobble there for Robert Kahn. And that's really going to be something that we'll have to watch out for with some of these drivers tonight. There's going to be certain spots in the track where once these tires get worn in, you have to be oh so careful when getting back on the throttle, or else it's going to want to step out. And we already saw one car go around. That was Christian Shriver on lap number 2, and that's just going to get worse for these drivers when they try and push the issue the longer this run goes on. So if you're not, a little bit of a mess up there on entry for Johnny Sanchez, but if you're not prepared and if you haven't turned enough laps in practice, then you're going to have a handful on this longer run that we probably will get. Not really going to get any cautions unless there's a massive pile up, and right now it's looking to be like a majority of this field is pretty spread out. We'd have to go back to about 12th position here with Jeffrey Ledford. He's going to be the first one facing some decent pressure from behind. Again, we talked about that spin moments ago of Christian Shriver trying to make up some of those lost spots. That's Kevin Baker in front of him. Oh, and the one car of Owen Russell back here having issues off of the final turn. Not quite sure if he's trying to make it to pit road or not, but either way, he's on pit road now. Christian Shriver way wide right there using all the racetrack. Next driver in front of him is going to be Chantel for 16th position. Top 6 have really been here early on, putting a gap between themselves and the rest of the field. But up front, Bud Shear continuing to impress early on in this race, not facing really any pressure. He's pulled himself away to about a 3-second lead. Then we go back to second place of Robert Kahn and Johnny Sanchez. And again, Johnny Sanchez had a moment a few laps ago entering the bus stop here, and it was a little scary for him. I'm not quite sure if he meant to get that deep into the braking zone, but either way, he made that mistake on entry and went through the grass a bit. Johnny Sanchez with another decent turn right there. He's going to be all over the back bumper of Robert Kahn. We'll see if he can make it stick, but this is a risky place to pass. Sends it out a little bit wide, trying to get a run. He's going to be side by side with Robert Kahn. Robert Kahn trying to give space and almost hit that outside barrier. He's going to lose second place now, and Robert Kahn's going to fall back to third and face pressure from behind from Truth Hoke. And almost another moment on entry there for Johnny Sanchez. And you'll really have to watch that in this run. You don't want to lock it up and cost yourself any time or any sort of risk to your position. He's had a few close calls already, just a few laps into this race, but still plenty of time to go. And really, if you're Johnny Sanchez, you've got second place now, and all you've got to really focus on is hunting down Bud Shear, who is pulling away, or was pulling away, then kind of got stalled out there with the lap car and has kind of remained about just under 3 seconds. He's past lap and a half, so we'll see if maybe once he's gotten around this lap car, see if his time improves at all. Robert Kahn's going to get shuffled back after that scary moment for Johnny Sanchez. Did a great job holding on to that race car, as Bud Shear had a little bit of an issue going through the carousel. See what Robert Kahn can do. That little mistake cost Shear a lot of time, and you don't want to make those mistakes. One is fine, but 2 and 3 times, that's really not what you want to do. And as long as that's his only mistake of the night, then I think he'll be fine. But you kind of got to wonder what it's going to do to those tires. And Johnny Sanchez back and forth. I mean, he had a big slide there a few moments ago right in this turn and really used up those rears trying to hang on to it. And that's not a thing that you want to have happen at a road course. You need all the rear tire and grip that you can get. And so if you're this 29 car, you probably want to take it a little easy these next few laps. Try and cool the tires back down. Don't want to force any issues or yourself into another mistake. You're sitting in pretty good position. I know you were just in second place, but there's still plenty of time. This racetrack is really difficult, and you don't want to put yourself in a scenario this early on and to the point where your race is ruined. As Truth tried to take a look to the inside right there, didn't put too much pressure on Kahn. Kahn is going to hold on to that second position, and I'm sure once we get later into this race, Truth Hoke there is probably going to force that issue a little more, but right now I'm staying pretty calm and collected. Truth with a good run there off the final turn. He'll be side by side with Robert Kahn going into turn 1. Robert Kahn on the outside, Truth on the inside, side by side. Johnny Sanchez right there as well. All this battling though has allowed Bud Shear to open the lead back up. The gap now about 4 seconds. We'll see if this 55 car can chase down Bud now that he's been able to get around Robert Kahn. And that's kind of the name of the game. I mean, this is such a difficult track to pass. You have to be super aggressive, but you also don't want to be over aggressive that's when you see mistakes, and that's usually what leads to wrecks. And you got to be patient, but you also got to be able to be aggressive enough to make the pass stick if you go to make a pass. And Truth made that look pretty clean and easy going. Didn't really force the issue too much. Was able to get past Robert Kahn pretty quick. Now Robert Kahn is going to have to face Johnny Sanchez. Back up front though, it is Bud Shearer leading the way, just over a 4-second lead. He'll be facing lap traffic here very shortly. For the time being though, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial side-by-side break, and we'll be back in just a moment here from Watkins Glen.
From humble beginnings to raising the future, achieving success along the way. We'll never back down, because we are here to race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Lightning eSports Arca Series at Watkins Glen International tonight. We are at 15 laps to go. Drivers now making their green flag pit stops. We saw it under the non-stop there. Truth Hoke went for a spin. Unfortunately lost a lot of time. Hasn't lost 4th place, but he did lose quite a bit of time to the guys he was racing. And Bud Shear looks like he might have just overslid his box a little bit, and that's really going to allow this gap to close up as the race off the pit road right behind him. Johnny Sanis is going to be right there with him in tow. Now that is probably the best pit stop that this 29 car probably could have had. Closed up a lot of time on Bud. Now we'll have to see if he can close that back down on track. And Kirsten Shriver, after that early spin, elected to stay out a little bit longer. Now he's going to work down pit road and get his scheduled service. So the lead's back to Bud Shear. And that'll move Christian Shriver back down the leaderboard. Johnny Sanis just trying to do everything in his power currently to chase down our race leader. We'll see if it's enough here with 14 laps to go. On board with Johnny Sanis, we'll see what it's like from his point of view. Missed the bottom just a bit there. Loses a little bit of time off that final turn. That kind of seems to be the difference right now between second place of Johnny Sanis and first place Bud Shear. Just really the Bud, it seems like, is able to hit the apexes just a little bit better and not really migrate too far off where he needs to hit. And as I say that, he's going to catch a little bit of lap traffic here in the bus stop, and that's really going to hurt him and slow him down a bit. All that time he just gained is going to be lost, and that's going to allow Johnny to close in. But Bud Shear going to get right back at it. Now there is more lap cars ahead. There's at least one directly in front. That's the 94 in front of Sean Burke. And he should be able to catch Sean Burke in a better spot than he caught the number 1 of Orrin Russell right there. But again, lap traffic really going to be a big difference between these two drivers in these next 12 laps. And if you're the 93 spotter, you're probably up there trying to holler at all these other spotters to get lap traffic out the way. We'll see if the 94 of Sean Burke closes. And yes, he will. He will get down off the way of the race leaders. So a lot of respect right there to Sean Burke. Might have actually hurt Johnny Sanis a little bit, though. Didn't get out the way for Johnny Sanis, and that's really going to hurt him. Oh, and around is going to go to 29. I don't think he's going to be too happy about that one. So Johnny Sanchez. Again, we talked about trying to get past the lap cars, and unfortunately it worked for our race leader and just did not work out for him. Let's go back and take a look at it here. So coming up on the lap car there, and I don't think Sean Burke was really anticipating Johnny Sanchez to get in line there, and I would be a little bit angry if I was the 29 car, but also the lap car has the right of way, and not really anything wrong he did. It's just kind of caught him at the wrong place, wrong time, and again, unfortunately for Johnny Sanchez, he's going to lose a lot of time. Was right there on the back bumper of Bud Shear, and now he's going to be 6.5 seconds behind. A little further back, Jesse Fox has a line of drivers behind him. Jeffrey Ledford, Jason Henry, Drew Smith, all right there under a blanket with him. Again, same issues for these guys that they'll have to face is lap traffic. That's the one of Oren Russell getting well off the way. Oh, and the 30 with a hard hit right there. That's Chris Ellis. And I think he just lost it on his own. He might have hit the rumbles. Let's go ahead and see what happened with this 30 car, Chris Ellis. And yeah, it looks like he just went wide a little bit and lost the grip on that rear end, and unfortunately when throttling back down just lost it, and around he went. Now Jesse Fox getting pressured from Jeffrey Ledford. And the 10 of Jason Henry all right here. Jesse Fox gonna fall back. Jason Henry was in prime position right there. Now Jason Henry trying to put pressure on the back of Jeffrey Ledford. He's there, he's hungry, and he wants it. Ledford missed the bottom just a bit, but Jason Henry wasn't able to take advantage right there as much as I thought he would have been able to. Now he's going to try and send it deep into one. Not enough though. Might have had a little bit of wheel hop as well. He's going to go wide using all the racetrack. Again, Ledford trying to use up all the trek, and that might have cost him just a bit. But they're going to be side by side down the straightaway going through the bus stop. Who's going to give? Who's going to have the advantage? Still side by side. Henry went wide. Ledford has it. Oh, and Henry's going to slide back on track and collect some other drivers. That's Jesse Fox. And Jesse Fox's car is absolutely destroyed. Major trouble and issues going in to the carousel. And you can just see the damage on Jesse Fox's car. That car is absolutely destroyed in that rear end. Trying to make it around the pit road, but that's going to cost him. Jeffrey Ledford now not really facing any pressure behind. All those cars just that he was racing with just got into that accident. With six laps to go, Johnny Sanchez has kind of closed the gap for the past few laps. That lap just a bit slower than our race leader of Bud Shearer. Has a shot. Bud has lap cars coming up in front of him, and Bud's gonna need to be absolutely perfect here in the next couple of laps and not have any mistakes. We've seen Bud pretty much eliminate the mistakes in this race. Johnny back there in second has had a few mistakes himself, but seeing already trouble with Bud when trying to get around lap traffic. We'll see if it ends up costing him a little bit again, or if maybe he'll have a little bit better luck this time. Five laps to go. The gap between first and second is down to 2.3 seconds. Will this 29 of Johnny Sanchez have anything to say about this race before it's over? But again, catching some lap traffic that'll need to work through as the gap is now under 2 seconds. Four laps to go. This 29 car trying to do everything to catch up to the race leader. Oh, and that's a little too much. Trying to get a little bit too much out of that, and he's going to go around and watch out. Oh my God, that was close. Dangerous spot to have issues in. And again, that 29 car is going to lose a lot of time once again. And now, with under 4 laps to go, unless we get some massive pile up in a caution, it looks like Bud Shearer will be able to come home with the win. However, he has to make it around without any incidents. At the line, he'll have 3 laps to go. Can Bud bring it back around? 3 more laps without any incidents. The rest of the field has already had their share of incidents. Bud Shear trying to give it his all these next couple of laps, although he can be a little bit more cautious with this almost 16-second lead over second place. If you're in the 93 camp, you're probably telling Bud to back it down. You don't want to push that issue too much. Yeah, you still want to set some decent laps, but you don't want to overdrive. And really, at this point in time, you probably want the driver to just remain in his comfort zone and continue to hit his marks and just really continue what he's been doing all race, because right now it's looking like an absolute domination once again by Bud Shear. And though it might be too late, look at third place of Christian Schreiber. Went for that spin early on from about this position. Lost all his track position. And now making up all those lost spots. He's going to be in third position currently. Not quite sure if he'll have enough time to catch the 29 car, but a really good rebound out of this 14 car tonight. Bud Shear making it look easy. He'll be coming to the white flag this time by. Into the final turn down this long front straightaway. Starter has the white flag in hand. One more time around for Bud Shear. The gap between first and second, 14 seconds. An outstanding race so far from Bud. All he needs to do is just make it around a few more sets of corners. No pressure from anybody around. Bud Shear through the final few turns. And in through the final turn, the 93. Once again, we'll see victory lane here at Watkins Glen. An outstanding race by Bud Shear. Bud's gonna work his way around the racetrack, get a little bit of a congratulatory bump right there. from the 29 of Johnny Sanchez. That was a pretty quick and not very long race, but other drivers might say otherwise, depending on where they were running or where they finished. But the man of the hour, Bud Shear, dominating race. We'll give our race winner just a second to get in here, then we'll get a chance to speak with him. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Bud Shear, once again visiting Victory Lane, this time able to do it at the road course. Congrats, Bud, on the race win. You made it look pretty easy out there.
Yeah, we had a couple hiccups. I hit the curb pretty bad and almost lost the lead, but luckily I kind of pushed the issue on the outside and second in turn 7 and got it back before the lap was out. But no, she was unfortunately a fuel saving race tonight. I was getting like 13.8 just running the car, and obviously I had to make it to at least the end of lap 15. So unfortunately we had to play that game of short shifting and dropping in the 4th and just manage a gap all night. There was one lap I sent it to see what it would do, and we hit an 11.5, so I shut it down after that.
Yeah, and those are always tough to be put in that position, especially at like road courses where you really got to be precise on your marks and not really. I mean, again, going back to what you just said, we saw you have that little bit of a mishap there going through. I think it was either the bus stop or the carousel, and you really got to be so precise on your marks, and you really don't want to have anything interrupt that. And at a road course like this, I know we only visit one this season, I believe, and really you don't have to practice it too much, but from a driver's standpoint, that's really going to be tough when having to manage not only the race lead but also fuel at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this place, I love this place. So I don't pretty well won here every time I've ever been here in about 10 different vehicles. So I like this place. It's just I went into the bus stop one time, and then I was hitting just the edge of that red curve up against the wall. Like I'm almost hitting the wall every time. And it just, the way it hit that red curb, it just bucked it to the right going into the first left in the bus stop. So I just had to settle the car down, and I didn't want to get too big of an off track or anything. So, and then when I got back on the final right turn going into the carousel, Johnny was to my outside. So I figured I better throttle this thing up and get going. So I raced him out of the carousel and down that stretch into the turn 7 side by side, and I just sent it 20 feet deeper than I had, and luckily it stuck. And yeah, cleared him, and that was when I was deciding to get about a 4-second lead, because that's the difference of 4 tires to just 2 tires was 4 seconds. So I figured if I had a 4-second lead, I would put 4 tires on it and come out just in front of him, which he was right on my ass coming off pit road.
Yeah, and this is one of those tricky spots. I think we saw. I'm not quite sure. I think it looked like you might have had a little bit of a hiccup when trying to come into your box. And really, this is a difficult pit road to get on and off of. It's the other side of what we're used to. And he almost gave you a run for your money there for a few seconds. He unfortunately had a few moments himself behind trying to get to your bumper, and ultimately still finished second, but quite a ways away. And after that point, it really seemed like it was just your wheelhouse and just trying to bring it around without any issues. And now when we head to Knoxville, that's going to be a different story. And I don't want to get away from anything from Watkins Glen tonight, but Knoxville is. I mean, we know it's a dirt track, and really, what are your thoughts, and what are you really anticipating for yourself heading into Knoxville?
I think that's where we went last year. We did one dirt track, and I mean, I'm not very good at dirt. That's not my thing. But I ended up qualifying on the pole and led every lap until my wheels shut off into one with like 6 to go or something on a restart. So, if that's the one we went to last year, I'll be pretty happy to go back. We were pretty fast there, considering I don't like those places at all. So, yeah, I kind of just want to win that because we've had a mile and a half, we've had a short track, we've had a road course, so kind of cool to go out and win on a dirt track next.
Yes, it would be really cool to sweep all those kind of different tracks, and would probably really put you as the championship favorite overall for this season. Now, really, it looks easy in these next couple of weeks. We'll probably see a little bit more aggression of some people trying to put a little bit more pressure on you now that you have these wins in your back pocket. But before I let you go, is there anything that you'd like to say, any shout outs you'd like to give, any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to give Chantel and everybody that runs this here at Lightning Esports big thanks for letting me come out and race here every Sunday, and you and everybody for putting on the broadcast every week, and every single driver that shows up to do this. RBS Racing and Sean Burke. Yeah, we'll come back out next week and see if we can get another one.
I like the sound of that, Budge here. It's been fun being able to talk to you these last couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll see you again with a interview or a victory at Knoxville. Congrats on your win yet again. Go celebrate.
Thank you kindly, man. Have a good one.
That was your race winner, Bud Shearer. Trying to stumble over my own words here, I guess. We'll go ahead and get a word with another driver here standing by on pit road. That would be third place finisher Christian Shriver. Christian, it was a pretty up and down night for you. You had that early spin coming off of, I believe it was the first turn. Had to work your way back up through the field. Ultimately finished third. And what kind of a night was it for you?
Well, I would have said it was honestly probably one of my best nights ever, having to go from 22 to third, driving this thing like a bad man out of hell. But unfortunately, the old dead man today wasn't quite enough to get to that second spot like he was hoping to. I managed to get around, I believe, with Sebastian there a little bit later in the run. Realizing I was in the third spot, I was just thinking to myself, well, if I ever get a chance to get to that second spot, I'll call that a win considering where I was at. But I don't know how Bud Shearer or any of them, well, I probably would have had been figuring out how to get around this traffic the way it was. I outsmarted him a little bit with one lap strategy there extra. Kind of almost pushed it a little too hard there, and almost got myself in trouble there in pit road. But we came out of that after that, just absolutely infuriated at the start, feeling a lot happier and better after that. But I just know, but deep down inside, that if I could have been able to be up there with them this whole night instead of that spin off turn one, I probably would have gave Bud a run for his money there.
Yeah, you make a good point of, having to deal with lap traffic. And I know, like you said, it's not the win that you're really wanting, or not having to really want to deal with that hole to dig yourself out of. Now, with going to run one road course this season, it's definitely a little bit, I'd say, harder on a driver. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you're really not having to put a lot of focus into road courses. Most of this is an oval type season, and although we won't visit a road course again this season, you got to look ahead to Knoxville, and where it is also a very kind of driver's type of track, and you got to really be precise on your inputs. What really is your perspective on your chances of Knoxville, and what really is your goal there?
The goal is simple, just like every race I go to. I'm going out there. I'm going to put them either 6 foot deep in the ground, or they're going to find a way to put me 6 feet back down in the ground. But either way, I mean, honestly, with the way the seasons go and the way these races run, you can't just be thinking, "Oh, I'm good at one track and I'll be terrible at the others." No, in this racing series, in this league, you got top tier drivers and top tier guys and gals trying to go out there, kick tail and kick the dirt around as quick as they can. They're out there trying to beat and run their tails down on the ground. I'm not going to be one that goes down just like that either with them. So no matter what racetrack we are or where we go, you got to basically put some fire under these things and make sure you're putting your tires down the ground. With dirt track racing coming up next, I mean, that's one thing that they are very scared of me this season. A lot of drivers had said flat out to me, "Hey, you're really good on dirt." And I kind of reminded them, I grew up and I was born on the dirt. I was farming, I was driving, and I will be slinging it on my home track in Knoxville. It may be about an hour away from where I live right now, but it's still the home track to me, just like that Speedway is. It will be a home sweet home coming for me when I get down there, and I guarantee you, my Iowa fans and everyone driving out there, that I'm going to drive this bad boy into the ground. The dead man's hand this time will not be denied down in Knoxville.
I love the confidence in that, and hopefully we'll be able to speak to you in Victory Lane next week. And I think a lot of drivers, again, probably not as confident with you, or as confident as you are with Knoxville in the dirt. But that'll be a show that we'll be able to watch next week. Again, that's at Knoxville. Before I let you go, is there any shout-outs you'd like to give, or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I got to thank my boys and girls over at River Bottom Raceway, English Creek Speedway, everybody that sponsored the show here this season, the Dead Man's Hit List. I help run and own, actually. So if you guys need to catch some tunes or get something new out there, please check them out. Great working and great stuff we were able to do over there. Everyone runs this series, this league. Chantel, Robert, Mike, Jason, everyone that helps me out with this stuff, man. They do a heck of a job, and they keep things running and keeping it lean and green. Everyone that comes out here to race with us, it's absolutely pleasure to be able to fight with them and drive them as hard as I can. If races like this would mean anything if they weren't doing what they do and as tough as they are. I got to thank my grandpa, of course, for getting me as far as he has in life with this world. My brother, my sister-in-law, my little niece, I know she's getting ready to put her helmet on and get ready to run it down in her little race cart. So I can't wait to see my baby girl do that. All my friends and family out there that supported me throughout the time and years. Really, without them and now everyone else around here, I wouldn't be able to do what the heck I did down here in Watkins Glen tonight.
All right, Christian Driver, thank you again for taking a minute to speak with us, and hopefully we'll be able to speak with you next week.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is third place finisher Christian Driver, and it sounds like from that interview he is excited and pumped up and ready to go at Knoxville next week, and he'll probably be the one to watch. From the sounds of it, we heard from our third place, we heard from our first place, and we are going to go ahead and we'll take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we will finish up and go down the rest of the results.
From humble beginnings to raising the future, achieving success along the way. We'll never back down, because we are here to race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
A little bit of a misclick there, folks. My bad. Welcome back to the Lightning eSports Arca Series. Just wrapping up here from Watkins Glen. Race winner Bud Shear. We got to hear from him a few moments ago. We also got to hear from Christian Shriver. Both those drivers, I mean, I'd say are looking forward to more so looking forward to Knoxville. And, I mean, like we were just saying a few moments ago before commercial, it sounds like Christian Shriver is definitely going to be one to watch there at Knoxville and might be the fan favorite hometown. And, you know, he's probably going to bring out a large crowd. So we'll have to wait and see next week from practice and see if he's able to back those times up. Going down, let's go down these race results here. Bud Shear with the race win, followed by Johnny Sanchez in second, Christian Shriver in third place, Michael Chanel, Barry Nelson, those 5 drivers rounding out your top 5. Then we go ahead to Jeffrey Ledford, Truth Hoke, Drew Smith, Chris Ellis, and Chantel Puddle. Those will be your top 10 drivers. Going down to the list, Mike Rideout, Sebastian Chanel, Jesse Fox, Robert Kahn, Sean Burke, Kevin Baker, Rusty Jordan, Michael Ware, Oren Russell, and Jason Henry are your top 20 drivers. And then rounding out the field, we all have Hayden Cookhausen and Brandon Cookhausen, both those 2 drivers, 21st and 22nd. And those will be rounding out the field Now, when you go ahead and look at the race recap, there's really nothing crazy to look at. I mean, we had no cautions. Again, kind of expected from this type of a racetrack. But Shear was the race leader and came out the race winner. And then no lead changes, which, again, with Bud being out front and the pit stop cycling out with how they did, not really having the opportunity to have any lead change there unless second or third place were able to pressure Bud when he had a mistake. And unfortunately, that mistake, even though it cost Bud a little bit of time, he was still able to rebound pretty quick. Now, when we go over here to Knoxville Speedway, that'll be the usual and same time as always. Next Sunday, it'll be a fun and entertaining race on the dirt. The first dirt on the schedule, and unfortunately the last dirt on the schedule, but it'll be an exciting one, and we can't wait for you guys to tune in for that race next week. From me and myself from Turn Sector Media, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week for the Lightning eSports Arca Series. Again, that'll be at Knoxville, and that'll be a dirty one if you get the pun. Until next time, guys, have a good one.
From humble beginnings to raising the future, achieving success along the way. We'll never back down, because we are here to race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
To get the most eyes on your vehicle, you need the best that the rest will see. At Lightning Wraps, you get the best at an affordable price compared to the rest. Be sure to check us out on Facebook for more information.
Sometimes